Cool. So I think we can get started. Everybody think it's like post-decompression token and almost sleeping. Couple of people in the room. Are you guys excited? Yeah? Okay, cool, very cool, very cool. Some energy in the room. Cool. So this is a long title, but long story short, I just want to speak about how we can unleash innovation around developers and why we need much more permissionless innovation around Web3. So welcome everybody. Everybody's a builder. How many developers do we have in the room? Okay, sounds good. Someone is around. Cool, awesome. The last energy. So I just want to go through a little bit what are snaps for the people that maybe never tested, never built one. And then a little bit like going more on a higher level. Right now we're speaking so much about, you know, DevRel, different developer activation. We're speaking different languages around metrics, ROI, and funnels, right? So this is something that I've been working on since a couple of months, I would say. But the idea is to just speak the same language with the same framework so that we can start understanding how we can speak about ROI and metrics. Cool, let's get started. About myself, this is like a fun picture. Back in Denver, and they even told me to wear it, so I would say okay, let's do it. And but yeah, it's almost 3 years. I'm at MetaMask and I'm leading a bunch of DevRel activation, building their developer community and all these efforts around MetaMask snaps and everything that has to do with permissionless innovation today. I'm also helping out different products like Linea and Ifura, and yeah, I'm just super excited to be around developers. And focus on developer feedbacks and building their community around it. I'm also a chess player. I'm not that good. I'm trying to get better. And yeah, I'm also investing in a bunch of startups around Sub-Saharan Africa. Cool, snaps and snaps. So who already installed a snap today and is actually using maybe daily, weekly, or something? No one, huh? Not a lot of people. How many? Yeah, a couple of people. How many people build a snap? Yeah? In a hackathon maybe? No? I don't know. Maybe the live stream will know. But long story short, what are snaps, right? Back in the days, you wanted to extend the functionality of what the wallet was doing. So basically, snaps are nothing else as this, right? So you can call it possible add-on, similar to what you have on your Google Chrome extension. And you can extend the functionality on different level, right? Could be non-EVM, could be notification. There are different use cases. So from Cosmos to BTC Snap, you will see notification snap for gamer and specific DeFi users. You will see also some cool MPC and 2FA account recovery snaps. I'm super interested always around the privacy and security snaps. So basically what you can do with some security snaps, you get flagged if you're interacting with a malicious account. So before even signing, you get notification about who are you signing with, and if there is some level of problems around the address that you are interacting with. And also there are different things. There are transaction insight is something that we launched at the beginning. So snaps were available before being on the main extension. There will be on Flask. I don't know how many of you using Flask today for developer environments, but Flask is the canary version of MetaMask. And you have a bunch of developer settings. So if you're doing the hackathon, I don't know how many of you guys are hacking today, but yeah, you should definitely check it out. The history. So this is not about Flask, right? What was the history about snaps today, right? So Dan Finley, the co-founder of MetaMask, wanted to add a Solana extension, right? And then we say, okay, how we can do that? Building natively, we can build some sort of modularity, and then all these things happen since DEF CON 5 presentation, that they wanted to add more and more feature around modularity of different use case, right? And the Solana and the Cosmos Snap were one of the first being built, and then they said to themselves, okay, what if you're building your own product, you have your own API, how you can interact directly with the essential source base, right? And that's basically where everything started. And then they said, okay, we're getting something we had, maybe last year we had something 6,000 or 7,000 open PRs. It's impossible to keep up with the innovation. And that's basically what happened with Snap. So they build a full low-level infrastructure to build on top of it for enabling extension and functionality expansion for anybody in the community. So it could be from your individual contributor, developer in an hackathon, could be until big organization and startup that want to build and leverage their own product and getting into the big MetaMask user case that you have today, right? So this is why building a developer community and the ecosystem is key. This is why we want to have a specific like framework and defining like why DevRel is important today, and we need to align always on different activation. And I don't know if you guys are any DevRel in the room. We have a cool chat that we're debating different metrics, different activation daily, and a lot of times, you know, like we're always speaking about different activation from different angles, right? That's why we need to have, I think, kind of like an overarching like structure, and understand that, you know, DevRel is a function that it brings, is not just bridging different products, but it's also like you need to bring much more transparency around your developer onboarding, around your tooling. These are the two things, right? You have your development side and your relationship side, right? I'm advocating a lot, even internally, like speaking about suggesting specific structure. And today, like the biggest difference that I see is always like people are more focused on content creation and dynamic content creation, and much more like focus on docs optimization, and other people are much more focused on the relationship. That's why like the suggestion here is around advocacy. So advocacy could be like leveraging your dApps being built by devs, could be leveraging your content built by your developer evangelists, and pushing this around meetups and no traditional finance. Could be evergreen activation, but could be also one-shot activation, both IRL and non-IRL. So, and then I ask myself, what is the true developer or builder needs around, right? We didn't have any activation before. I'm seeing so many like DevRel discussion and panel around frameworks. And then I thought myself, this has nothing to do with whatever product you're building, whatever like development tooling you have, right? So you need to basically strategize and build a specific framework. And then I thought myself, okay, I remember this back in the days, right? This, I don't know how many of you guys remember the Maslow hierarchy of needs. And then I thought myself, okay, how we can actually convert this in a hierarchy of needs of builders. And that's basically where I come out, right? So pushing like 5 specific like stages of builder needs, and before even going to the next level, you need to satisfy your lower standard. I'm trying to build like a paper on this, but the long story short is that you have developer low needs, like, you know, stuff like access to resources, basic education. Your docs need to be on place. You want to have your 30 minutes tutorial. You want to have your 2 hours tutorials in the doc. But most important, you have also want to have some kind of like education or academy ongoing that is nurturing the relationship with those devs online, but also like it need to be evergreen, because you cannot scale with one-time activation. And then you're starting with like providing devs on the second stage on safety. This is nothing else as providing a safe space for developers to give feedback, criticize whatever you're building, and also prioritize your roadmap, because the best people that can criticize and give priority feedback are the developer in the community than the developer that are building with your own product. And then we go on more like on the third level is more around like, you know, smaller hackathon, focus, localized developer community, and then specific problem around like ambassadors and community engagement. And then we go more online, so focus on cool ecosystem and product community calls, and then, you know, like ambassador rewards and specific like condition. The long story short here is that following something like this, it gives you a lot of like excitement about not just building your DevRel strategy, but also like excitement about how to speak with other DevRel around your space. Because right now we have different activation, we have different metrics, and we're always speaking about what has better ROI, but we never kind of like align on what is needed in order to get better on what we're doing. But also in the same time, you want to have company that are aligned and do prioritize things like, you know, getting your docs on the first place better, and for even like onboarding better developers IRL, or even like a lot of companies that I'm speaking about, they don't even have like an academy, you know, an evergreen specific like funnel that you can get developer excited. This is like the cure, the quick like research, but if you want to get a longer read, because I think we have 10 minutes. So, long story short, we want to also transition specifically like from a Web 2 kind of thinking to a Web 3. The lesson learned here And I don't know if you guys have been in different stuff like Builder Nights or like evergreen cookbooks, that's what we called. But long story short, you want to make sure that you are co-innovate with other partners. You want to build this Web3 festival company together and focus on a topic, on a vertical, and that's how you're building this safe space. So these goals has nothing to do with like conversion in the developer funnel, but is leveraging other developer community to build something and have this kind of safe space for developers. The second big part of lesson learned was trying to build authentic relationship. Don't do stuff like, with big corporate accounts, trying to involve people, developers. You cannot really market on developers, anybody know here. So the mostly important part is that trying to be authentic, And I think, in your journey you will do a lot of like errors, and I think you will learn a lot also around this. So, big first part, you focus on the educational curiosity. We spoke about that. Traditional marketing tactics is definitely a no-go where you want to go, and try to be authentic, and also like understanding your developer stage that you're talking to, right? If you want to do a workshop, really trying to understand what target audience you will do the workshop with, and that's why like it's extremely important that you're fine-tuning your workshop or your talk based on the people that you have in the audience. So speaking about the funneling part, right? And this is also like a problem that I see around different companies, that everybody's speaking about different funnels on different stages, on different developers, and we don't really speak about the same language. So this is the second framework that I iterated on, and it's basically a mix of value onboarding to product conversion. And I will tell you right now that maybe 95% of companies are literally doing the second part, right? The product specific conversion. You will go in a workshop and people will like start to say, hey, build with this right now. And you will really not build this safe space before in order to get them excited, because it's not about the product. People are coming into your ecosystem because they find it accessible, but also they are excited about you as not just a thought leader in the space, but also excited about that you want to bring innovation. The product onboarding is coming as a second priority, and that's why like this big part, like the value-driven onboarding is extremely important, and can be also like being pushed from IRL to virtual, right? Could be like an example for virtual, could be like those product agnostic community calls where you're speaking about specific topics, right? Like IRL could be like those builder nights that we are running, like fully verticalized, right? We started with 447, we spoke about 6900, we did a layer 2 builder night in Istanbul 2 days ago. We did a restaking, very focused restaking panel and topic, but the idea is to really bring a thought leadership topic around, and then you can still do your product specific conversion. We ran this workshop called in Builder Day, and those were very focused workshop around the technology, and you want to have also concrete fact to build that. And all this funneling, if you think about this, is independent to product. That's why I put product 1, 2, or 3, right? And then, in the lower part, whenever you build this authenticity, you want to also be sure that you're being authentic, but most important, like you have also skills around conversion. So both funnels, you will have different type of DevRel, but also different type of metrics and different type of like skills needed in order to convert that. I don't know if for example, in a hackathon, people are staying at the booth. If you're a sponsor, they're staying at the booth, and you have also like DevRels that are going out to tables, trying to really support developers. So you need to have both sides of the medal. But the most important part, you understand which type of funnel you are and which activation, because all these, the only things that I learned like being at Consistency during the past year is definitely like a biggest importance of your job is also like trying to strategize and to sell in the best way possible your activation inside your company. And I think that's something that we are not speaking a lot even in those DevRel panels that we're doing those days. Cool. So just quite like going forward, I think we are almost on time. Your docs are your most valuable assets. You want to adjust for your developer persona skill levels. So always following these two framework, I think that's quite clear. Make sure that you're running both questions and opportunity for improvement. Just as a quick example, right? With Snaps, we run 6 different hackathons. We reiterate on our docs 6 different times. And it was quite amazing because we went back to the engineering team and we rebuilt from scratch docs based on like the feedback we had in different hackathons. And that's basically the fourth point, right? Reuse bounties, not just a developer feedback tooling, but also like trying to push your internal team to ship and prioritize features. We spoke a lot about one-shot activation. I also want to emphasize like engagement, continuous engagement with evergreen activation is super important. You want to make sure that you're trying to feed single hackathons to main activation. Could be evergreen hackathons, could be like building some, like we have something called MetaMask Learn. We had, Consist Academy. So something that is around nurturing and scaling the community that is not IRL. So I think that's one big part. And also like things like developer ambassador program is super important, running different cohorts, and as I mentioned before, like running virtual hackathons. They are putting together different players online. One thing that I also like learned during the past years was also you has to build a platform where you can actually like shout out different developers' contribution all the time, right? Even the smallest contribution, you want to always create this kind of like superstar community, and shout out could be like, bringing them in some kind of dedicated developer directory, could be like, shouting them on socials, could be make them presenting in a product-specific community calls. We're running this community call monthly, and we're having a lot of like hackathon winners presenting, a lot of like PR contributors presenting, and I think this is one of the most important under-leveraged thing in developer community building. Yeah, so this basically like is kind of like the mantra that we follow also for building the community around snaps. As I mentioned before, anybody can build any snaps today, right? Community from individual contributor to enterprise. And in order to scale your product, this is the only way that you can push innovation around the community. Not just passively hearing feedback, but actively getting contribution with basically functional feature extension. So modularity is also like key here. So I'm almost done. This is like a cool link for the snaps directory. I will not show, this was part of like a cool workshop. Here you will see like different, there are 4 different categories that I mentioned before, interop, that you can basically do your first transaction with Solana, BTC, and there are different like Cosmos Snap. It's also quite cool. And this is natively integration, right? You install your Snap, it's 2 clicks, and you have your Snap installed, and automatically you get this feature on your extension today. Security is also like the one that I mentioned before, so you will get flagged if malicious accounts are happening, and before even signing. So I'm using that daily. It is actually quite useful. Communication Snap, that's something is used mostly around gamers. So you can basically like start to do chat between 2 accounts, not just sending transaction, but basically chatting. It's actually quite cool. And then account recovery. So account management is a big part. So MPC, account recovery, it's also like a cool category that we want to check it out. For the developer in the room that want to start building a Snap, it's quite straightforward. We have a Snaps directory. We have Snaps templates. There is a bunch of workshops, but most important, like we're always providing bounty to hackathons, and also we have virtual hackathons. And the Snap is nothing else as a MPS package that you can download and rebuild based on your product API. Cool. Big shout out to Patrick, to all the ETH Dubai team that organized this, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I think we are actually 3 minutes on time. Awesome. Thanks everybody.